The Bath Game. The Bath Game, formerly known as Darumasan, is an old game which involves summoning a ghost from a bathtub which follows you all day. Playing Darumasan can result in bad things happening, even death. Things you will need: a bathroom with a bathtub. That's it. Starting the game. Before you go to bed, take off all your clothes, enter the bathroom, fill up the bathtub, and turn out all the lights. Sit in the middle of the bathtub while facing the faucet/tap. Close your eyes and wash your hair. As you wash your hair, you should repeat these words. Daruma-san fell down. Daruma-san fell down. Do not stop repeating this until you finish washing your hair. Your eyes must remain closed. As you wash your hair, you will picture a Japanese woman standing in the bathtub. She will slip and fall onto a rusty tap, gouging her eye out, killing her. You will hear a sound coming from behind you, or you will feel a movement in the bath. Do not turn around. Do not peek. You have summoned the ghost. You will feel her presence as she emerges out of the bathtub. Ask out loudly, "Why did you fall in the bath?" You can finally get out of the bathtub and make sure your eyes remain shut. Make sure not to slip or trip as you get out of the bath. Do not drain the water. Not until the next morning. Shut the door behind you. It is now safe to open your eyes. Keep the water in the bathtub until morning. This is important. Do not turn on any lights and go to bed. What the woman looks like. The woman is a ghostly figure that will follow you all day. She wears tattered and stained white clothes with long black hair. She has only one eye. Her left eye is wide open and bloodshot. Her right eye is missing, leaving only a bloody, hollow eye socket. Playing the game. When you wake up in the morning, the game will begin. Your day will begin normal until you feel the presence of the one-eyed woman glancing over your right shoulder. When you turn around, she will not be there. She will get closer and closer as your day goes on. Do not allow her to catch you. If the one-eyed woman is getting too close, you should shout, "Tamare," which means stop, then run away very fast. This will put some distance between you and the woman. You must end this game before midnight, or else she will continue stalking you and appear in your dreams to kill you. Ending the game. To end this game, you must catch a glimpse of the one-eyed woman and shout, "Kita," which means, "I cut you loose while swinging your arm in a chopping motion. The game will end, and the one-eyed woman will not follow you anymore. The rules: do not open your eyes when the ghost first appears. Do not let the one-eyed woman trip you when you leave the bath. Do not re-enter the bathroom after you leave. Do not drain the bath until morning. Do not ever let the one-eyed woman catch you. This game is very dangerous. It can get you killed when you get out of the bathtub. It is important to play with extreme caution.
How to play hide and seek alone. Introduction. The one-man hide and seek, aka, or also known as, the one-man tag, is a ritual for contacting the dead. The spirits, which are wandering restless on the earth, are always looking for bodies to possess. In this ritual, you will summon such a spirit by offering it a doll instead of a human body. Warning: if you have psychic abilities, you may feel unwell or be prone to accidents during the ritual. Things you need: one stuffed doll. It must have limbs. Rice, enough to stuff the doll full. One needle and one crimson thread. One pair of nail clippers. One sharp-edged tool, such as a knife, glass shard, or scissors. 1 cup of salt water. Natural salt would be best. A bathroom with a bathtub and some form of counter. A hiding place, preferably a room purified by incense and a fuda. There must be a TV in there. Preparation. Take out whatever the doll is stuffed with. Once all that stuffing is removed, restuff it with rice. Number 1. Clip off a few pieces of your nails and put them inside the doll. Sew up the opening with the crimson thread. When you finish sewing, tie up the doll with the rest of the thread. Number 2. Go to the bathroom and fill your bathtub with water. Return to your hiding place and put the cup of salt water on the ground. How to do it: give a name to your doll. The name can be any but your own. When the time is 3 a.m, say your name is the first it to the doll 3 times. Turn off all the lights in your house. Go back to the hiding place and switch on the TV. After counting to 10 with your eyes closed, return to the bathroom with the edged tool in your hand. Go to the bathtub and say to the doll, "I have found you," and use the doll's name. Stab the doll with the edged tool. Number 3. Say, "You are the next it," the doll's name, as you take the doll out of the bathtub and leave it on the counter in the bathroom. As soon as you've put the doll down, run back to the hiding place and hide. How to finish: pour half the cup of salt water into your mouth. Do not drink it, just keep it there. Number 4. Get out of your hiding place and start looking for the doll. The doll is not necessarily in the bathroom. Whatever happens, do not spit out the salt water. When you find the doll, pour the rest of the salt water in the cup over it. Then say, "I win," 3 times. This is supposed to end the ritual. After this, make sure you dry the doll, burn, and discard it later. Most important, please do not stop this ritual halfway. You must do it through to the end. This is a dangerous ritual, and I will not be responsible for what happens to you if you try. Other things to keep in mind. Do not leave your house until you have done the finishing ritual. You must turn off every single light in your house when told to do so. You must keep quiet while hiding. You do not need to put the salt water in your mouth during the beginning. You only need to do it during the finishing ritual. Remember, if you are living with someone, you might put them in danger too. Keep the ritual or game under 2 hours, or else the spirit will be too strong to remove. For safety reasons, it might be best to keep all the doors in the house unlocked, including your front door. As well, have friends close by so that they can come and help you at a moment's notice, if you ever need them. Keeping a mobile close at hand would be a good idea too. Note: 1. The rice represents innards and also has the role of attracting spirits. 2. The crimson thread represents a blood vessel. It seals the spirits up inside the doll. By cutting the thread off, you break the seal and release the spirits you have trapped. Number 4. If you go out of the hiding place without salt water, you may encounter something wandering around in your house which may harm you in some way. The way to feel the presence of something wandering around is to watch what happens to the TV. The video clip below shows the changes seen to the TV after 40 minutes into the ritual. Nothing really happens, but it gives you some ideas anyway. You can hear changes in the sound. It becomes unsteady, repeats itself like a broken record, and becomes warped towards the end.
A simple ritual. Before I begin to relay the details of this ritual, I should probably explain that you need to be in a certain state of mind for this to work. I'm sure a lot of you out there will know what I mean, even though I'm not the best person to be explaining human emotions. It's a kind of churning, constant emptiness, a feeling that, although you have no desire to die, life simply takes too long, and you would rather another option. It is very important that you feel this way when undertaking the ritual, because another option is exactly what it gives you. The details are as follows. I have tried to make it as simple as possible and to cut down on the cryptic rubbish that my contemporaries often include in these things. But you need to appreciate how hard that is. We do not live by constants as you do. We live by symbolism and meaning. Bread does not sustain us, but the idea of bread makes a very good meal indeed. Still, enough talk. Even if you did want to hear about me, I wouldn't be able to explain it. Apologies for this also, but if you're not a resident of the UK, you have a little travelling to do. The new world doesn't interest us as much as the old one, and this is not going to be as convenient as finding an old hospital or halfway house. You will travel to Suffolk, England, and find a public house called the Queen's Head, on the crossroads of 4 villages: Southwold, Aldeborough, Dunwich, and Walberswick. They've all been well noted by history, though not necessarily in the history books. Anyhow, once there, visit the place during the hours of 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. and take a good look around the pub itself without going inside. The crossroads is a simple one. 4 towns lie in 4 different directions, though new roads may not reflect that accurately. Take a compass with you. Take 10 steps towards each town, then 10 steps back to your original location. Once you have done this for all 4, proclaim out loud, "I have seen these crossroads too many times." Once you have said that, step into the pub. It should look much as it did in my time, which may well be a shock to you. Don't worry, you can turn around and leave right at that moment, if you so wish. Go back to your life and read these stories from the safety of a screen. If you do decide, however, to continue this course of action, then go to the bar and ask for a glass of the House Malefic. The barman will give you a glass of red wine, and he will accept no payment. Now, drink it, and you are exactly halfway to where you want to be. Once it's gone, he will tell you that you've had enough and ask you to leave. Do as he says, for though he is a good friend of mine, he is a spiteful man with an old crow for a wife, and he delights in an excuse for a fight. When you leave, you will find a large black horse outside. Mount it. It is yours. A little gift from me to you, in gratitude for the tasks that you have performed so far. The wine will have warmed you a little, I hope, for you have a long ride ahead. It does not matter in which direction you travel. It never did. The roads, they will be old now, impossibly so, perhaps, and a dense fog will cover the tracks. Plough on ahead, and do not deviate from the road. He may send a guard to veer from the mists and try to stop you, but keep moving. He may even send a loved one to plead that you slow down. This is a trick. It is me that he wants to stop. We have never seen eye to eye. The mists will pass, and you will see an end to the road ahead. A gorge of impossible depth. Do not stare into it. Contrary to popular belief, it doesn't gaze back, but it may hold you from your task, and neither of us want that, do we? To continue, you need only do one thing. Ride the horse from the cliffside and plummet into the gorge. What? I never said that this would be easy, did I? Don't worry, it's an exhilarating rush, for the most part. I shall not talk of the next few minutes of your trial. It would be improper, after all. Many do not make it this far. They suddenly decide that they have too much to live for. What a joke. As though cowardice and misery were badges of honor. However, those that do have the courage for this, and I commend you, I truly do, will have but one final task ahead of them. The hardest of all. He will appear to you. I've seen him before, more times than I would care to mention, and I know that this next part will be no easy task. You must deny him. He will show you your loved ones, those that have passed from life, and he will promise you a life with them. You must deny him. He will offer you bliss and a release from pain. You must deny him. Finally, he will offer you his friendship and his regard. Deny him. His words are false, and you will find no succor with him. Finally, he will leave. Good. And we will be alone. Now for your gift, the reward for your efforts. No problem to a being like me. I will touch you upon the forehead once, and you will awake in the bed you find most comfortable. From this point on, you will be possessed of an irresistible charisma, and disease will never trouble you. No wound will harm you, and no argument will sway you. You will be one of my children, and you will recognize others I have dealt with by the black fingerprint on their forehead. The only catch: there isn't one. I'm not like him. I don't deal in punishments. I reward my children.
Maybe it's late at night, but you can't sleep. You're bored. Or you can't stop a bazillion thoughts from racing through your skull. Or maybe you've had too much coffee. Or you're a little drunk. Whatever the case, I've been there, my friend. I know how it feels to sit there and realize that you're not really living right now. You're just existing. Surely there's something you can do, right? No matter what, no options presented seem like something that feels right. It's definitely not clubbing night. Watching TV or playing video games seem like mind-numbing options, and you've likely been surfing the net all night and have realized how little satisfaction you're getting from that too. Well, good news, because I have a solution. The option might require you to put on pants and walk somewhere, but it's worth it, I guarantee it. See, there's a building, not even a block from where you live, and at any time of the night, you'll find the rear entrance unlocked. During the day, the place is locked up, tight as a drum. But for some reason, once night falls outside, whatever time of the day that happens to fall on, at any time of the year, you'll find that rear entrance is open and waiting. What are you waiting for? Christmas? Get your pants on, put your shoes on, and get your ass down there. Didn't I promise you it would be worth it? Only one thing. You've got to follow my instructions to the letter. To the letter. That's very important. Got that? Okay, good. Are you ready? Then let's go. The building is just up ahead. See it? It's an old office complex that's currently unoccupied. I'm not sure what businesses were once housed here, but for now, it's empty. It's been here for years. And I don't recall a time when there was an actual business open there. Yes, of course, I'm sure the rear entrance is unlocked. Didn't I say that? Let's head around the back. Don't worry, I know the lights are off. It's not like this building advertises itself to the general public. Only select few have ever attempted what you're about to attempt. Stop worrying, okay? You'll be fine. as long as you follow my instructions. There's the entrance. Go on and try the door. See? It opens just like I said it would. Now, proceed to the first elevator you see. What do you mean it's too dark to see? Just use your flashlight. You didn't bring a flashlight. Didn't I tell you to? Oh, no. My bad. Well, you've started now. You can't turn back. You don't want to know what happens if you ignore me and turn back now. You'll just have to use what light there is from the moon to proceed. Okay, the elevator is 10 paces forward and to the right. This building is 10 floors tall. You'll be going to the 11th floor. Shut up, I'm explaining. What you need to do is get in the elevator and immediately press and hold the button for the 10th floor. When it starts to flash, let go of it right away and tap the button for the first floor. Phew, you did a good job there. Now the elevator is proceeding to the 11th floor. If you press those buttons any differently, you might have wound up on a different floor. And believe me, you don't want that. The elevator doors open on a hallway that leads straight forward to a brightly illuminated exit sign. This is not our path. You run for that exit and you'll probably never make it there. If you do, you'll find out that the sign lies. Instead, you need to turn to the left and take the first door you see. Wait, is that really the first door you saw? You're about to head into it without even realizing that it was not the first door you saw. It was the second. The first door you saw was the one your eyes cast upon as you were turning. It's the second doorway on the left, true. It wasn't the first door you saw after I gave the instruction. See what I mean? You have to follow my instructions to the letter. That was the last time I'm going to warn you that you're choosing wrong. Pay careful attention from now on, or who knows what will happen. Head through the door and sit down immediately. Good job. You apparently understand now. Do as I say, and only as I say, if you hope to get through this with your sanity and all life intact. Ignore that cold sweat on your scalp and congratulate yourself that you didn't close the door, but instead sat down as soon as I told you to. The room before you is black. Blacker than anything you've ever seen. You cannot see your hand in front of your face. You need to sit there, perfectly still, not moving a muscle, until I say move. Count your heartbeats. When you get to 20, stand up. 1, 2. Remember to count the heartbeats, not seconds. There, you got to 20, and you are standing. Now, announce to the room. That which is the darkest is closest. That which is closest is watching. That which is watching is furthest. Did you say it? You didn't hesitate after standing, did you? Did you speak as I told you the words, or did you wait until you heard them all? If you waited, you are done for. Okay, it looks like they're satisfied. The good news for you, you may proceed. Take 1 step forward, and then immediately turn right. Walk forward until you come to a door. Open it, close it immediately, and stand with your back to the room. This room will be as dark as the first. Stop breathing, hold your breath, and no matter how much it hurts, do not let it out. What is in this room follows the sound of breath, and if it hears any, well, I won't tell you what it will do, or you will release that breath and bolt for it. Keep holding your breath and count another 20 heartbeats. Now, the breath must really be straining your lungs. I understand that. Stay facing the door, but walk backwards until your back presses against the far wall. Keep that breath held. Walk slowly. Ooh, I bet you can't stand it anymore, can you? You simply must release the breath. I can't stop you. All I can do is remind you that you are not alone in this room, and breathing will be so much worse than simply keeping your breath held. There's the far wall. Without looking, feel for a door handle. Open it, step through and close it. Now release that breath. Feels good now, doesn't it? You're about 1/4 of the way through, and you're still alive, and still yourself. You're doing quite well so far. The room you are now standing in is not dark, as the others have been. It's lit by a small fire on the far end. A huddled figure is sitting by that fire. Don't turn around. At least, don't do so until you stand straight and announce in a clear voice. Might I share your fire for a moment? Now wait. Count your heartbeats again. If you get to 10 and have heard nothing, hold your breath again and run back through the door you came in through without looking back. There. Was that a soft grunt? Did it come from the figure? Be careful. Think hard about it. If you decide that it was indeed a soft grunt of assent, turn and go back to the fire and huddle before it like the figure is. While walking, you likely notice that there are 5 doors in this room, including the one you came through. Huddle on the opposite side of the fire as the figure, but make sure you huddle yourself in the same position. Never look directly at it. You won't like what you see. Now you may ask it any question you want to. Here's the catch. If it's the wrong question, you'll be stuck huddled in this position while it can get up and leave. Most people ask it which door to take. Good. You're asking him which door to take. And if you listen, he will tell you that it's the right-hand door, closest to the one you came in. Don't get up yet. Consider the fact this figure is not your friend. It doesn't know you, and it probably doesn't like you very much. Could it have lied? Maybe you should take exactly the opposite door it suggested. Or maybe this creature cannot lie, and you should listen to it. No, don't ask me. I truly don't know. One of these doors is the right one, but it's never the same door. You get to choose whether you believe the figure or not. Seems like you've chosen to listen to it. Let's see what happens. Wow, looks like today is your lucky day. You're doing very well so far. You find yourself in another long hallway. This one is longer and much, much darker. There are 2 doors at the end. If you walk straight to those doors, you will be forced to choose one, and neither is marked. You can feel that presence, can't you? The one that's right behind you. You can feel its breath on your neck. You can sense how close it is. The hairs on your neck prick up. It's going to follow you. If you look around, you will regret it. Don't speak to it. Don't acknowledge it in any way. Just walk. Walk until you hear whispering. If I were you, I would pay attention to that whispering. Not so much what's being said as which door it's coming from. You're hearing it now, aren't you? Yes, just right up there to the right. You stopped as soon as you heard it. You're still listening. You're doing so well. Yes, it's still there. And yes, you still need to ignore it. Turn to the door you hear it coming from and walk straight toward it. Place your hand on the knob. Now, here's where things get complicated. On the other side of that door is whatever you're picturing in your head when you turn the knob. So it's important, vital, that you do not think of the thing you fear the most. You know that thing that sometimes keeps you awake at night because you're certain that if you close your eyes, it will come for you? That creeping feeling you get when you think someone's watching you? That idea or thought that your deepest nightmares try to hide from you? I'm warning you, if you're thinking about it, stop. Don't turn that doorknob until you've cleared it from your mind. Are you still thinking about it? You are, aren't you? The presence behind you is getting closer. You have 3 ways out of this. You can run for the 2 doors at the end and accept whatever fate lies beyond them. You can let the presence behind you catch you and do whatever it's going to do. Or you can stop thinking about your fear right now and open that door. Whatever your choice, you're not bored anymore. Told you it was worth it.
A ritual to experience the other side. I'm sure if you're listening to this, you've already got some idea of the strange things that seem to leak into our world from the void. Places, objects, and sometimes people can be anchors for these things, allowing them to slip through. Those strange shadows that dart just out of view. The hushed whispers seeming to come from nowhere. The odd happenings in otherwise normal places. These can mostly be attributed to what is collectively known as other sides. Picture, if you will, our plane of existence as a multifaceted gem. Every side of this translucent gem can just slightly see another through it, but not quite see full images. Our world is much the same. We can usually only see faint bits of the other facets, unless something is very, very wrong. Oftentimes, the events that cause us to gain insight into other realms of our world are dangerous, mentally scarring, and tampering with them can cause the curious very severe issues. But still, there are many of you out there that are curious. You read accounts of these incidents, whether factual or twisted and embellished second-hand retellings. Some even outright fake. And you start to wonder, what would it be like to have just a taste of those adventures? Maybe you felt cold winds brush on your arm in a still room. Or maybe you've seen something you can't account for, and you grew to enjoy that feeling. The adrenaline pumping through your system, the unique pleasure that comes with fear and the unknown. Maybe you haven't had any sort of paranormal encounter, and you simply crave the experience. You may want a story to tell your friends, or maybe you want to prove the fact that these things can and do happen. That is why I'm telling you this. Using this ritual, you'll be able to get a small taste of one of these other sides. It isn't dangerous, as long as you do it correctly. If you don't do it correctly, there's no risk of possession or some other horror movie nonsense. You may, though, burn yourself, maybe bump into something a little hard, develop a fear of mirrors or open windows, but nothing too bad. Here's what you'll need. A mirror, large enough to show the reflection of your upper body, chest, shoulders, and head, while also allowing you to place a fully open palm on the surface, i.e., no pocket mirrors. You'll need a pitch black room. This can be your bedroom, if all the lights are out. Yes, even those from phone chargers and cell phones and the status lights on your computers. No light, other than that of the next item. A candle, large enough to just faintly illuminate the mirror in an otherwise dark room. You want to just be able to see yourself. You will also want it large enough to last up to an hour without going out. Those tall religious candles you tend to find at dollar stores, that should be enough. An alarm of some sort. You'll want to wake up at an optimal time. Somewhere comfortable to sleep for a few hours. And lastly, preparation. Firstly, you're going to want to make sure you have a large enough mirror. If it's not big enough to reflect the requirements at a full 1:1 scale, you're not going to have proper results. It won't cause any problems, but it won't work correctly either. Make sure the room you're going to be doing this in is pitch black. I cannot stress this enough. You need to make sure the only light in the room will be the candle you use. Cover slits under doors, cover windows, turn off lights. Leave your cell phones and watches in another room. Just as with the mirror, you won't get some too spooky for me curse or something if you ignore this. You just won't get results. To make your experience a bit easier, make sure you have something to set the candle on. This could be a chair or stand or even the side of the bathtub. When doing the ritual, you will be facing the mirror. You do not want to see the flame from the candle. You want to have that hidden behind your body. It needs to be raised enough to dimly illuminate the mirror. You should be able to just make out details. As I keep mentioning, you mess up here and it won't harm you. It'll just waste your time. Make sure you get a few hours sleep. You want about 2 hours or so at the bare minimum. Make sure your alarm is nice and loud to wake you up. Being in a just awoken state is what allows you to perceive many of these paranormal events. It'll help here as well. You can, though, do it on a full night's sleep, or even in the middle of the day. A side note, if you're going to half-ass any of this, don't even bother doing it. You're just going to waste your time and feel like an idiot when you don't get results. What to do? Wake up and enter the room you're doing the ritual in. For simplicity's sake, I'll just be saying bathroom from now on. Once inside, make sure the bathroom is pitch black. Light your candle and place it behind you on a stand of some sort. Ensure the candle and its flame cannot be seen. Stand directly in front of the mirror and put your non-dominant hand against it, off to the side, so you can still see your face without any obstructions. Leave your hand still. Do not press too hard, but make sure your palm and fingers are lying flat. Stare into your own eyes. Alternatively, if you have problems keeping eye contact for whatever reason, stare at one point on your nose, directly between your eyes. Keep focus here, as long as possible. Once you've got that down, you'll alter your breathing. Take in a deep, full breath and hold it for several seconds, as long as you can. Exhale slowly. Then, take another deep breath. Repeat this as long as you need to, for it to feel natural, where you can do it without even thinking about it. Continue staring into the mirror with your palm on it. Eventually, one or more of several different things will happen, depending on conditions, depending how well you followed instructions. and how attuned to such things you are. The possible results are as follows. You may begin feeling the glass under your palm crawl and squirm, possibly even buzz, vibrate. It might feel like putting your hand on a low bass amp, or it could feel like sticking your palm in a pit of insects. You may start noticing distortions in your own face. Many people claim to see family members who have passed, but others tend to see alterations of their own face, from animalistic to outright demonic. You may hear voices, whispers, odd sounds, often mechanical in nature, or in some cases, music. The volume of these sounds varies from account to account. In extreme cases, some people claim to have seen their scenery change. This could be subtle changes, from the wall colours to not even being inside any longer. People have also claimed to see others in the reflection besides themselves. Again, these are extreme cases, and they tend to happen to those who keep focused for long periods. Ending the ritual. Return to your normal breathing pattern and close your eyes for a moment. Open them and turn on a light. Put out the candle, and that's it. Simple as pie. Depending on your experience, you may feel uneasy around reflective surfaces. You may want to avoid or cover them up for the next few days. Nothing's going to get you, unless you're already in an endangered location. But it might just comfort you. Your experience may vary from the above results, and it probably will be different each time you do this. Final note here. I do not suggest doing this with a window facing out into a pitch black yard. I do not suggest doing this with a glass door facing a pitch black area. Mirrors are safe. They just let you and them look back and forth. Doors and windows are a different story. They let things in. And just keep in mind that while you're trying to get a glimpse of these things, they may be trying to get a good look at you.